In this video today, we will be going over the installation of your new envelope printer. Today we are installing our black demo unit. The color of your machine may vary. Functionality, features, and operations between different colored machines are the same. First step is to install the conveyor onto the table. The conveyor should be roughly 24 inches from the left side of the table. Once in position, verify that it is squared to the front and side of the table. The next step is to install the delivery conveyor at the left side of the table. For installation of the delivery conveyor, there are 2 thumb screws that have to be loosened. Once those are loosened, you can insert the flanges around those thumb screws to set the delivery conveyor into place. Once into place, tighten down the thumb screw. On front and the back. That is the installation of the delivery conveyor. The next installation is for the printer that will set on top of the conveyor. The printer has 4 thumb screws that will set into these holes, machined holes on the plastic slide guides. Once in position, you will need to remove the cardboard protectant from the conveyor, or from the printer. Undo the tape on both sides. And then pull in the direction of the conveyor belt movement, which should be from operator side, right to left. Once that is removed, verify that your thumb screws are engaged in all 4 sides into the proper slots underneath. If they are sitting on top, it can cause issues down the line. So verify that they are in the holes. Lower the printer by turning the thumb screws counterclockwise, all 4 corners, until there is no pressure. Once there is no pressure, start turning them all until you get a little bit of tension, and then take 3 full rotations on the front. And 3 full rotations on the back. By maintaining the same number of rotations, you ensure the printer is level. You'll want to set the feeder center line in the center of your conveyor belt, which is the center of the print area. This is the center of the feeder. Line that up with the center of the printer using the center screw underneath as the marker point. The next step in installation is to install the security screws to lock the printer down to the conveyor. There are M3 screws that will insert into the holes into the supporting rails on each side of the printer. Insert and thread in. Leave a little room for adjustment if you have to raise the printer later on. The next installation is for the safety guard on the exit side of the main conveyor and transition to delivery conveyor. Using the provided M3 flathead screws, mount the exit cover. That is the installation of the delivery conveyor cover or exit cover. The next step in the video is to remove the ink cartridge cover. To remove the ink cartridge cover, simply pull the orange cover out and install the ink cartridges. To install the ink cartridges, place the yellow ink cartridge with the chip on the top side in the yellow slot. Push until it clicks and release. The magenta is next. Insert into the slot, push until it clicks and release. And repeat for the cyan and black. Close your ink door. That is installation of your ink cartridges. The next step is to remove the orange retaining clips for your service sled. It is important to remove this before operation to avoid errors. Remove service sled door with a Phillips screwdriver on the 2 thumb screws. To remove the door, hinge down, slide to the left to remove off of hinges. Pull the 2 retaining clips out of the printer on both sides. Once the clips are removed, reinstall the ink door. Line the hinges up and slide back onto the hinge back up, and retighten the thumb screws down using the Phillips screwdriver. That was removal of the retaining clips that are shipped with your new envelope printer. The next step is installation of the computer and its hardware. Place the computer on top of the printer in the designated area. Included with your laptop is a Kensington laptop lock that is used for safeguarding your laptop from removal. Okay. Run your lock side of the Kensington lock through the loop and the handle on the printer. This lock will run around the back side of the printer and be placed into the back locking port on the computer. Use the key to disengage the lock. Put into place and remove key. Now your computer is secured using that cable. Included in your computer is an Ethernet adapter to use to connect your computer to the local network. The adapter will be placed on the left side of the laptop in the USB port. Run an Ethernet cable from your network to the USB Ethernet adapter. Also provided with your computer is a 1-foot Ethernet cable that you will install on the right side of your computer in the Ethernet port and run to your Ethernet port on the printer. The power supply for your computer will plug in this USB-C port on the left side of the computer. The next step during installation is installing all cables on the entrance side of the printer. The first cable we are going to install is the I/O cable, which has an 8-pin and a 2-pin cable port. We are going to be using the 8-pin cable port on this side of the printer. The 8-pin port is located above the cable organizer. Simply plug in and run your cable through the handle to the back side of the printer. The next cable we are going to install is the encoder cable. The encoder cable has a male and a female side. To install here, you need to line up the two plugs to where they mate together and twist the nut on the cable until it is secured. Run the cable up through the handle to the back side of the conveyor. The next step in installation is the TOF sensor. The TOF sensor on this unit is not installed. These may be pre-installed on some units. To install this, simply place the sensor through the hole and use the nut to tighten up on the bottom side. Next, the TOF sensor cable has two ends, the larger and the smaller diameter. The larger diameter will connect directly to the TOF sensor. The smaller diameter plug will connect up here. It is a good idea to run the cable through the cable organizer for best cable management. That is installation of all cables on the entrance side of the printer. The next place we are going to make all our connections is on the back side of the conveyor. The first cable connection we are going to make is using the 2-pin I/O cable. It'll insert into the 2-pin plug on the back side of the conveyor. The following cable connection is the encoder cable, which will plug into the encoder port. There is a 6-pin cable provided with the unit. One end will plug into the 6-pin port on the back of the main conveyor, and the other side of that same cable will plug into the delivery conveyor. Also provided is an 8-pin cable, which will run from the back side of the conveyor to your feeder. We will show that connection in just a moment. Now that we are on the underside of the feeder, we will make our 8-pin connection. The 8-pin cable will plug into the 8-pin port on the bottom side of the feeder. Now that we have made the 8-pin plug connection, we will return to the back of the conveyor to make our final connections. Now that we're back at the back side of the conveyor, we will plug in main power to the conveyor. Also provided is a cable to power the printer. One end will plug into the back side of the conveyor. The other end will plug into the backside of the printer. These are now all the connections needed for operation.